We got some new Jones. We got some new music for y'all. Fourth in fantasy, we are back at it again with another episode. Episode 24. Rocco, what's good with you, my guy?
Let's roll, Rocco.
Let's go. We have a lot planned for you guys today. Hopefully, a full hour. Looking to keep it out at an hour for you guys. But we're going to be talking about Josh McDaniels. Guess what? He's back with the New England Patriots, and we're ready to talk some ish over here. We're going to be talking about our fourth in fantasy dynasty football league and our startup and how it's been so far. I think we're on round 12 and how our philosophies, how we went about it per round, and how we pivoted when we got sniped. You already know what it is with that one. And then we're going to end off today's episode with part two of our 2025 rookie mock draft, the second round, the way we're going to continue. And I edit from the first round. Somebody who I would like to switch around. I've been watching more of his film, and I think people are going to lean towards him in the first round analytically. But let's get started, my boy. Welcome to Fourth in Fantasy. You know what it is, Rocco. Today we got the wonderful news or horrible news, depending on how you feel about it.
Sorry, Max.
Sorry, Mr. Max. Josh McDaniels is back to the Patriots for I think the second or third. I think it might be the no second time, I believe. And I'm not really sure how to feel about that for my Javon Baker shares, some of my Drake May shares, some of my Ramondre Stevenson shares, if you will. Rocco, should the Patriots fans be happy? Should they be sad? Should they go high under a rock? Or should they rejoice?
Um, I think they should do none of those things. I think you should stay even keeled because I think that what you have now is you have a system, you have an organization, you have a program, and that's what Vrabel is bringing to the table. Vrabel is very respected. He brought a program to Tennessee, and we saw that organization crumble after he left. Um, I think people are like, setting their houses on fire because Josh McDaniels is back. But I mean, the facts of the matter is that man won 6 rings, 6 titles. Maybe it was Tom Brady. It probably was 90% Brady, but he was there. He has those rings. He walks in the room with rings on all of his whole hand and this hand. He's got the fucking Infinity Gauntlet walking
I
into the
can't
room.
disagree.
So he commands respect whether we like him or not. And some of the failures he's had was with Mac Jones, and everybody fails with Mac Jones. So um, the Patriots have the most important position locked down. They have a franchise quarterback. I would be more worried about surrounding the franchise quarterback with weapons, legit weapons, and stop worrying about coaches because coaching only matters so much. I'm
I hear
all
you.
about I'm all about the Jimmys and Joes. You know,
The X's and O's.
I'm about the Jimmys and Joes. If you don't have the Jimmys and Joes, the X's and O's don't mean shit.
No, this is like I said. This is I looked it up. This is going to be his third stint. How have we ever seen that a coach get three tries with an organization?
Crazy ex girlfriend here. Just
Crazy
can't
ex
get rid of. Just
can't
can't
get
get
rid
rid
of.
of her like herpes.
Oh no, I know some. I hope nobody can watching this can relate to that. I really hope not.
do do we have a new title?
Listen, the craziest thing about it is that he's been a head coach twice, right? And I will say him as a head coach, and maybe he's not head coach material, right, Rocco? maybe he's a really bad one. And some guys are just better as coordinators, either a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, where you're not being asked to lead men. You're just being asked to do your part of one side of the field or one side of the team, right? So, I mean, shoot, if you go look back at McDaniels as the Denver Broncos head coach, you can't really give him slack on that because he had Tim Tebow as a quarterback, who I think we all can agree is a worse quarterback prospect than goddamn Anthony Richardson by far. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and, and then he was the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. That very much did not go well. But once again, let's toss it up to maybe he's just a horrible guy when it comes to head coaching. But he has Drake May. Maybe I'm not saying he's the equivalent of Mr. Tom Brady in his prime, but he's a lot better than what he's been given in the last few years, right? So let's see what he can shake and bake. Let's see what Josh McDaniels can bring to the table. Like I said, I know that all the players that I have on my team that are on the
Hmm.
New England Patriots, I have a lot of shares of Javon Baker. I really want to see him on that field. Hopefully, he can come on the field now with McDaniels. But one thing I am a little bit worried about, Rocco, I am very much worried about the McDaniels playbook because it is a little intricate. You know what I'm saying? It does take a little bit of time to get that toned down, honed down, and lipped and locked. And I'm going to keep it quite frank. What I heard about Javon last season, was he was a little slow to pick up the playbook. So I don't know. I'm a little weary now, and he has a whole new playbook to learn now. But we'll
Hmm.
see. I like my if Mike Vrabel feels like he's learned something in his time away. Sure, let's do it. Let's see what he has for the Patriots. It's not like they can do worse, right? So
Can't
shit, toss him
can't
in there.
can't do worse, man. Um, what's the team really needs is a number one wide receiver, and hopefully, um, they find that guy in the draft that he can grow with Drake May, who's the face of the franchise. I see Tetaroa McMillan mock there. I see Travis Hunter if he decides to play wide receiver full time mock there. So there's definitely options. A lot of people want T. Higgins. I think he's going to stay, but you know,
Mm.
one way or another, they need to find a number one wide receiver, and that will slot all of the rest of the wide receivers into positions where they can thrive.
I very much agree with you, Rocco, and I think with this McDaniel's hire, and I won't say nothing because nothing is really a guarantee, right? But I think at this point we can almost see them if they don't pick this up in free agency, that them going wide receiver, whether it's a McMillan, whether it is a Travis Hunter, and you have them play corner and sometimes sprinkle in at wide receiver for both sides of play. We'll see. And I still think they pick up some more. I don't think they will go super crazy because you still got the receiver from last year, so you're going to want to see if they still got Jalen Polk. What Jalen Polk can do? What can Javon Baker do? What do you have in a Demario Douglas? What do you have
Mhm.
in a in a booty? So it's I had to really I thought when I thought about it
No
now, I was like, how
Diddy.
am I? No, did I was like, how am I supposed to
No
say
Diddy.
this? So it could, like you said, stay even tilt. You can either don't go too far, don't get too high of yourself where you think, oh, we're Super Bowl now. I don't think no Patriots fans probably saying that, and don't go too low. I think in the NFL things change very fast before you
Yeah,
know it.
yeah. All I can say is, um, Bill Belichick was run out of Cleveland because he didn't have a quarterback. He got with the goat Tom Brady, or maybe not the goat anymore with Patrick Mahomes around, but he got Tom Brady, and now he's looked at as the best coach of all time. So a lot of it depends on who your quarterback. And like I said, the Patriots have the quarterback, so just find some
Build
people
around them.
that can work with him, and you're good to go. It's not like he's coming back into work with Mac Jones. So everybody that's like, oh my goodness, this guy is falling in, chill. See what moves you make in the off season before you
Of
lose your
course.
shit. It's too early, and coaching only matters so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, it plays a part, but if you don't have the players, if you don't have the quarterback, then then you're severely limited, and doesn't matter who's coaching the team.
I,
That there's a very low ceiling with that. So let's see what they do in free agency and in the draft.
I think it's also to note before we move on to our next topic of our Fortune Fantasy Startup Draft. It's to note that it seems like these older organizations think of the Patriots, think of the Cowboys. The Patriots just hired Mike Vrabel, a previous player for the Patriots, and they just hired Josh McDaniels, previous offensive coordinator, QB coach for them as well. Seems, and indeed, if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, they've been just, we interviewed Brian Schottenheimer twice at this point. We're going to interview Kellen Moore, or we have interviewed Kellen Moore. Seems like guys that we're familiar with, and
Hmm.
that can either be a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes I think you need outside opinions, outside just a new fresh breath of energy coming into an organization or a change to make a difference, right? Sometimes when you bring in the same old, unless they're involved, we saw with Mike McCarthy after his time away. He said he evolved, and that helped him get better as a coach. So maybe the same can happen with Josh McDaniels.
Hey, it could be worse. You could be the Saints and not even have a fucking coach yet. So be happy
Oh,
at
you got
least
that.
at least you have some direction, and you're not just getting rejected left and right by everybody who's ever put on a coaching cap before.
Hot take: Mike McCarthy becomes your head coach.
It's starting to look like that, but if it's not Mike McCarthy, what the fuck?
He said, "Hey man, what we doing? What time we on?"
I don't know. If I was Mike McCarthy, I wouldn't want to come into the situation that is the Saints because it's a fucking dumpster fire until we get rid of the GM Mickey Loomis. But um, yeah, we're grasping at straws, and if it's not Mike McCarthy, then it's gonna be um, some defensive or offensive coordinator that's never been a coach before, and somebody who's gonna suck Mickey Loomis's butt and let Mickey Loomis pull all the strings and hire all
Oh
the
my
assistant
God! Yeah,
coaches. So
if y'all audience can't tell how Rocco feels about the front office in New Orleans, he does not
no,
bang with y'all whatsoever.
no, no, no. If you need some math figured out, then the GM is your guy. If you need players, and if you need somebody that's going to build the organization that is not the current front office.
Yes, sir.
At least it's not. This is not Mickey Loomis. They got some other smart guys in there, but he needs to go. His time has come.
Yeah, fuck that man. Just like Bolt, they all just need to go. But let's hop on this startup draft, my G. We
Oh
got this
man,
going on. When did we start this? Friday? That's when everything got rolling around. Thursday, Friday.
yeah. It's been
Okay.
going what like a work week so far.
Yeah,
About 5 days, I think.
let me show you this
Almost a week.
beautiful boy, y'all, and what we've been cooking up these last rounds, man. And
Can you blow that
y'all,
up just a hair?
I sure can.
My eyes are bad, man. I don't know about the audience, but my eyes are bad. Okay, I can see it now.
All right. Y'all see this wonderful rainbow, this wonderful colorness that we got here. Now, let's talk a little Rocco, because you already know how I was gonna start. Y'all see where I'm at. If y'all don't know who I am, you better know who I am, Mr. Honcho, his goddamn self. Y'all know where I was going. I keep telling, fucking Rocco been telling y'all what I be doing in the first round if I get a good pick. I'm going with CD, baby, every time, no matter where I'm at. Fuck a quarterback in the first round. Give me my elite wide receiver. That's how I like to start my fantasy teams. That is my philosophy, Mr. CD. And if CD got picked, I was going to go Jamar Chase. And if y'all see, Jamar Chase went 101 in our draft, not a quarterback.
Ooh, oh God,
Ooh, that's
oh man.
ooh, that's a hot one right there. I don't know. That's a
That feels like a reach to me, but I mean,
yeah,
Triple Crown when it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to shit on it, but I don't know in a super flex when you got a chance to get one of these difference makers. It's for me.
it's
For me, I could not believe that I could get Jaden Daniels, you know, the young goat at 1.5. I think as we get along in the startup season, I think in probably about 75% of drafts, he's going to go 101. So I thought that was great value.
I
Um,
agree.
we're looking at, the second coming of Lamar Jackson, except he's a much better passer at this point in their careers.
I
Whatever that
agree.
VR shit he's doing, hopefully, you know, he sends a whole pack of headsets to Anthony Richardson because, um, that whatever he's doing, and it's working because he looks like he has all the answers out there, and this dude's just a fucking rookie, and
Mm-hmm.
he may get to the damn Super Bowl. I mean, you got to hobble
I know.
Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles should win the game on the strength that they're better in almost every other position on the field, but they don't have Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels gives you a chance every week, and he gives you every chance every week in fantasy too, because he can get you points any which way you want him.
I agree with you, Rocco, and I really do like Jaden Daniels. To see him go at the 105 reminds me of where CJ Stroud was going last year, and some people were even taking him the 101, the 102, the 103. In those first, few picks in the startup drafts. This time, we see CJ Stroud go at that turnaround, second round, that 201. Do you agree with Stroud there, or would you thought he would slide a little bit more?
Um, to be honest, I don't. Chapter two, our guy Ty, he actually wants to come on the show, and I'm gonna need him to defend those picks because I think those picks are absolutely atrocious. Mahomes ain't a first round pick anymore. I mean, try to trade him in your fantasy leagues and see if he's a first round pick consensus because you're not getting those. Yesterday's prices aren't today's prices, and
Say it
you're
again,
not.
Rocco.
Yesterday's prices are not today's prices, and today's
You got
prices you ain't fucking getting shit like you could get last year for Patrick Mahomes and CJ Stroud. Trust me, I have Mahomes, and I've been shopping him for a fucking year and can't get close to two first for him in
no.
Superflex. So, if it was me, I would have took the hammer somewhere else. You got Brock Bowers. This is a full 1 point tight end premium or 2 point tight end premium. I would have
Yo,
went
two.
McBride, Bowers. You got Neighbors. You got BTJ, who should be damn near a first round pick. You could have got both of the rookies, Neighbors and BTJ. And imagine how strong your wide receiver room is. I think he kind of got nervous about the quarterbacks and kind of reached for those guys.
Mm.
If they didn't go there, I could have saw them going mid to late second, honestly.
No, I was super when Brian Thomas was still on the clock on round two. I ran. Well, actually, I can try to. I traded. I'm trying to remember what I actually did to initially
Well,
get two.
yeah, I could have taken him, but I had a sweetheart deal from Gucci Mane, so yeah, I took it, and instead of taking the obvious pick, he took Kyler Murray.
I'm so happy he did. I was I saw that pick going. I was like, "Oh, give me that, give me." I was like, "What? You over here wilding?" And then I went
after the
ahead and took.
season, after the season he had, Kyler Murray's not a second round pick; he's a third round pick, and to give me three picks and a second, I think I gave him back like a 20th. Like who cares? Um, and I turned the pick that was Kyler Murray into Land McConkey, Michael
Yes, he did.
Penix, and Ricky Pearsall in that second round pick, and he'll get his 20th round, maybe in a couple of days or so.
Yeah, you actually got me with that one because you sniped me when you picked up Penix. I was actually thinking about picking him around where you were, and I was actually trying to trade up, but you ended up taking him out. I ended up
I mean,
getting Dak Prescott, but it's you know I wanted that Penix so bad.
yeah, I think Max came in and hit me up and asked me what I thought about him. I said what I think about him is two first. Like I'm not selling him unless I get two first. Like I can get two first now. I can get two first when the season starts. But he's my third quarterback. I also picked up Goff, who's just a rock solid QB2.
Mhm.
Um, to kind of make that a strength of my team and
So Rocco,
filled
before
in
you
between. Go ahead.
before you go forward, like at this point, let's look at this third round, right? Coming into this third round, now let me tell y'all, Rocco was the first one to bust the trade cherry in the league. He got the first trade out the way. Now going into the third round, I'm not. Oh, never mind, because he had the first. He already picked in the first round. He did not pick in the second round, and he came back with vengeance in the third to get Lad McConkey. What made you go Lad in the third? I feel like that's a few rounds earlier than he went last year,
Yeah, I
as he
mean
should, as he
last
should.
year he was a second round startup, second round rookie pick. But this year, it was like between him or Jackson Smith. Uh, Garrett Wilson, I still don't trust his situation. Lad McConkey is just attached to Justin Herbert, and until further notice, he's the best receiver on that team, and he's just a target monster. And he gets open at will. I mean, we saw in the playoff game, the guy almost put up 200 yards when the rest of the team wasn't doing shit. So I think I think his value will catch up as more drafts go, and I think in sleeper he's going to be a consensus second round pick. So um, I don't feel bad at all at tearing down from Brian Thomas to Lad McConkey. I think both of them were top five rookies.
hundred
If you look
percent.
at some metrics, Lad McConkey was like a top two rookie this past year. So just to get him there uh, is I and AJ Brown went in front of me. AJ Brown
Mhm.
went in front of me. But my eye was always on Lad McConkey. I got a lot of AJ Brown, but Lad
So
McConkey was
If AJ Brown didn't get picked right there, you still would have chose Lad McConkey,
yeah,
regardless.
yeah,
Okay, I agree. Okay, I'm with it. I like it.
yeah,
I very much agree with
yeah,
that one.
yeah. My goal in the third round was to get two target hog guys that could get open at will, and I think Drake London and Lad McConkey are exactly that.
You hit that right on the head, and I was mad as hell when you picked. You know how I love me some goddamn Drake London, my boy. So when it was a hard decision between Brian Thomas and Drake London, I tell you that I've
Yeah,
100% a
and,
very
and
hard
if
decision
you
there.
and if you look at the board, the other guy that was in that pool but got picked right in front was Nico Collins. Nico Collins kind of slid because I
Mhm.
feel like he should be a second round pick as
You
well.
should.
But I was happy as a pig in shit to get Drake London, pair him up
And if
later
we
with Penix for the stack,
and if you guys
and
look
Lad in the
at
third round.
a piece of that piece there. He even went, and once again, we're if we kind of just looking at where players went last year, and Lad McConkey goes before Garrett Wilson. I 100% am behind that all the way this year. But this tells you how far, or not even how far, but how Garrett Wilson has fell since the end of last year and where
Who,
people thought of him.
who's this quarterback? Do we know?
Oh, shoot, me, you.
Is he going to end up in the Giants? Is he going to get traded somewhere? I mean, if he gets traded to the Patriots in the offseason, all of a sudden he's a mid second round pick. But at this point, there's a lot more questions than answers with him.
So tell me, then you go Jared Goff. You take the Mister who just laid an egg in the playoffs himself. What made you go with that conviction to go get Goff?
Hey, real playoffs ain't fantasy playoffs. Fantasy playoffs, he won people money. So that guy's money in the regular season. He's going to get you 4,500 yards. I mean, he. I know he's losing his offensive coordinator, but like I said, Jimmy's and Joe's over X's and O's. He still has Sonic and Knuckles, who are going to
Hmm.
keep heat off of him, and he can throw to either one of those guys. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the league. He still has a deep threat in Jamison Williams, and he's
Hmm.
still got an elite tight end, and the offensive line is not getting any worse. So, and that team drafts well, so you can expect them to just keep adding talent. So, I don't see yeah, I see a rock solid QB too, and I like the safety of Jared Goff. There might be some guys with more upside, but I feel good about plugging him in as my QB2 for the whole year, and I set it and forget it.
And you've grabbed quite a few rookie picks this draft, man. I feel like you at this point you might have the most in the first round. Could I be wrong?
I should. I've taken a lot of them. I think I got six, four firsts and two seconds. Uh, well, let me tell you what kind of kicked off my rookie kick. It
Yes,
was
please.
when Eagle fan Jay, our guy Jay from Fourth and Fantasy, uh, took Jonathan Taylor,
Hmm.
and at that point, I had to immediately pivot from a win now to a productive struggle because that was the guy I wanted, and his tier was leagues higher than anybody else on the board, established wise. I mean, you look at some of the players that went after him. I mean, maybe Kyron Williams, but I don't trust. I don't trust the Rams at all.
Hmm.
So I'm not trusting my fantasy team with the Rams. Tyreek Hill, who you picked, old. Sorry. And
I love me some Tyreek. Hey, listen, Tyreek Hill, brother, Tyreek Hill in the fourth round. I'll eat that one. I'll eat
hey,
that one.
hey, he'll give you production, but um,
Yeah.
he might be entering his crazy phase. He's starting to turn
He
into
he he
Antonio
might.
Brown.
He might.
When he starts throwing rubber dildos at cops, man, you'll know it's over. But
Listen.
talking in a British accent, the CTE has caught up.
Say CT ESPN. What they say?
That dude's crazy as the F. Man, I don't even want. I really don't even want to fuck with AB. Man, you cool, man. Don't fuck with my page, bro. You got you
Hey,
got
look.
you got too many bots and followers.
Listen. For context, y'all. Nola has the 103. He has the 106. He has the 108, and he has the 112. That's just in the first round. Then he has the 206. He has the 207. Man,
Back to back.
if that isn't firepower and what he's been preaching all this offseason so far is hammering running back, I can see him very much having a solid team. This is and if he wants to pivot off of, go get him a Burden, go get him a Tyler Warren. He can add young pieces to his team very much. I'm envious of the rookie picks that he had because I've only had two. I have two in the second round. I have none in the first. I was more building around the players, making trades, trying to get. There was plenty of times I got sniped I got
Hmm.
sniped when someone picked Bryce Young. I got sniped. I did not. I was sad when Ladd McConkey got picked because I was hoping he made it to where I would pick Tyreek Hill at.
Hmm.
He was definitely on my board at that point.
Hmm. Hmm.
If I keep going, I was not picking Rasheed Rice in the fifth. That was not happening. I thought that was a crazy move. Shout out to you, Max. I don't think he plays in 2025. If I'm being completely honest with you,
If
he's going to be
if
hurting.
he does, it's gonna be second half.
Yeah, I'm not in it, and I feel like at that fifth round pick, that's a
Hmm.
very premium spot. Like we said, who went after that? You had DJ Moore go after that. You had depends on how you feel about Roman Dunze and Ben Johnson getting there. He went after that. You got Jalen Waddle. Depends on how you feel about that. Chris Olave in the seventh. Ooh, that I feel like that's taking a risk, Rocco. And how do you feel about that one? You're a Saints fan. Keep it a buck with us.
I'll keep it 100. To be honest, at some points last year, it seemed like Rashid Shaheed was poised to become the number one there. Um, but it's hard to knock Olave when he's on the field. The only thing that's getting knocked is his head, honestly, because Derek Carr throws him in the collisions, and the collisions,
Mm.
you know, result in brain injuries, and that's kept him off the field. And it's funny, his brother takes to Twitter and like just totally shits on Derek Carr. It's kind
It's
of
actually
funny.
hilarious. I've seen it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like, probably there's some animosity between him and Olave, but I mean, the hive is Derek Carr. It was Dennis Allen. It was Mickey Loomis, and I feel like Derek Carr is not going anywhere,
Mm.
unfortunately. So as long as Carr is there, I would fear for Olave's health and safety. I think he has talent, and I think he could get open. He makes some wild catches down the field, um, but it's like the Tua situation. Like he's one hit away from like really having to consider, stepping away from football. So it's a very boom bust pick. I like a little bit more safety in my picks. But as far as round goes, it's probably around where he should go if you're just being
Mm.
courageous with your pick.
He went
If you're
in
going
front
if
of
you're going
guys
max
like
upside.
Max upside. I could see that if when he's in there and he's healthy and his quarterback isn't throwing him hospital balls,
Hmm.
he's actually pretty productive. But he has bit me too many times to believe in any of that bullshit, Rocco. I'm not
I think
fucking with that,
he
man.
I think he still has some cachet from last season where he started
Mhm.
off in drafts, and I think as the season goes along, he may be moving down on boards. Because
I
I
mean, he
think
went
I think what gets people in this draft is we're going completely off of last year's rankings. So
correct.
if you're not in your head have your own kind of rankings, you can get fooled into what they have on the default settings for
Yep.
sleeper because there's a lot of players that are very high up.
St.
Like
Dell.
Travis Kelsey, I think was a top 40 guy, and dude might retire after a year.
And he didn't get picked until
Just for one example.
that 12th round. Did not get picked until then. And we still don't have Tank Dell on the board yet. He is still out there. And we are in the 15th round right now. Who and guess who's actually on the board? Our boy Rocco. Can you
All
do it
right,
for the people right now? Let them
I
know
could
what
do
you're
it.
gonna
I
do.
could do it for the people. I could do it for the people. Let me. I have a guy in my head, but let me kind of look.
And if,
At
for the
this point in the
audience,
draft, go ahead.
yes. No, go ahead. Let them know. We're in
No,
the 15th round. Let them know what you're thinking. It's your philosophy.
okay. 15th round. In my mind, I was kind of leaning towards taking the pick here, but we are officially in the third round. And even though the 212 and the 3-1 are just one pick, for some reason in trade negotiations, the
I feel you.
212 will have a lot more value than the 3.1.
It just looks
Just
better. I don't
it
know
looks
why.
better. It looks
Mhm.
better, but it's like one fucking pick. Let me just kind of, you could just bear with me. Let me just pull up the
No,
draft
I could,
here.
and for everyone can see, this is who we still have on the board. We got quarterbacks: Deshaun Watson, Will Levis, Aaron Rodgers, and Daniel Jones. If you haven't noticed, scrubs at the quarterback position. Running back, we have Zamir Wright, Jalen Warren, Blake Corum, Nick Chubb, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, those people on the likes. We still have a couple of rookies from last year. Jalen Wright. How do you feel about Kendra Miller?
But I don't feel like I'm picking him right here.
He
If I
said,
was
I'm not
say,
fucking with you.
if I was taking a running back, I would just take the pick. So
We have a
anyway,
few wide receivers left.
I don't get too stressed out. Like my general strategy is, I'm not looking to fill a roster right
Hmm.
now. We have what 4.5, 5 months to do that. I'm just
Yep.
feeling talent. So position doesn't matter to me. I'm just hammering the best pick or player that I see at this position. Some of the names that are ringing to me right here are Kayshawn Booty,
Okay.
who kind of went off last season.
I like it.
But
I'm happy that's one of the first names you said. Actually.
I'm thinking he's at the top of my queue. This is not in order. I just add as I get bored. But he's on there. Another guy who I might be looking at is Jameis Winston, who could fall backwards into a starting role.
Okay.
Tyler Algier is a guy that I have some interest in. I mean, he had
Okay.
1,000 yards as a rookie, and there's always a chance he could turn into a starting running back somewhere. But I'm not gonna pick him because of the incoming running back class. It may make it harder for him to get a starting position.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't have a tight end at all. Um, and I'm not sure if I want to solely rely on a tight end I pick in this draft. So the two names I'm kind of looking at are Jatavian Sanders, who looked pretty good at points last season,
He did.
uh, but it's not reflecting in his stats because
He had a really good. He had one good game, I will say, and then he got a neck injury. The neck in that same exact. He had a long reception in. So,
he
if we're going to be honest with you, we got to throw it up to that first half of the season where they were just trying to figure things out. They were throwing
mhm.
Young out, and he wasn't doing as well in that first half. They threw Andy Dalton out there, and he was okay until he wasn't. So
uh, but
it was up and down.
but the problem with that narrative is
Yeah,
his best games came in the middle of the season,
yeah.
and his best game actually came against the Saints, which I don't count because the Saints suck and they make everybody look good. Like if you want a career day, play the Saints in the last couple of years, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, he did shit for the rest of the season. 11, 12 points in the last 4 games. I know he
Yeah.
was hurt at some point, but yeah, 12 points in the last 4 games. So I'm gonna pass him by and I'm
Ooh.
gonna look a little deeper.
Okay.
Michael Mayer, I'm not confident with starting him at all. He's more of a stash. Mike Gesicki, nah, I'm good. There's another name here somewhere. Did I pass him up? Where are you? Damn, I must have passed this son of a bitch up. Hopefully, they didn't get picked. I don't think he got picked.
I hope. No, listen, there's so
Uh,
many at this point of
shh.
the draft. You're just looking for guys who, one, have potential to take over for a guy that could potentially be a starter, or you're looking for somebody who, you know, is on that long. They're an older person, but they still got that. They still have some left in the tank to provide.
Hmm.
But I think, what round do you think you stop finding like an adequate starter, and you're just start tossing out darts at
At
that point?
what round? I mean, we're not quite there yet because if you look at this pass round, I know some people are kind of throwing darts already, but I mean, I got Calvin Ridley who had 1,000 yards the last two
Yeah,
years. Is still only 30 years old.
yeah.
He had some issues where he didn't play, so he doesn't have quite as many miles as a regular 30-year-old. No playoffs to speak of, so no miles there. But
Jonathan Brooks
anyway,
at 14.
Jonathan Brooks. I mean, we're talking about.
Mm,
Uh, I mean, we're talking about. We're going on the talent, but a lot of these guys, some of these guys are going to still be on your tax. They're going to still be on your IR. A lot of these guys are going to start the season on pup. Guys like Rashid Shaheed probably going to
mm.
start on pup. Jaden, Jonathan Brooks definitely going to start on pup. So, but enough filibustering. I'm gonna make my pick here.
Ooh,
This
let's let us know
guy,
what you're doing.
this guy's a tight end, and he had double figures in in 4 out of his last 6 games.
Fuck, I already know who
Uh,
you're going with.
he really
Oh,
came on. He's probably one of the most athletic guys at his position, which is always
shit.
a harbinger of a
I know
really
you
good
about to say.
player. And he just
Oh.
has a cool fucking name. Chiggy Okonkwo is the pick. Boom! I
Mm,
can't believe he's still there. He's the
uh,
last tight end that I feel any kind of way about, and he's serviceable. I got him in. I think he's maybe my most owned tight end, and
yeah.
I just think he's a really interesting player, and
Oh,
um, I feel
let's
good
bring
about.
in.
I
Let's
feel
bring in the
good about him.
stats. The last hit. Where is it? It's his projection. Oh, I think
And
you gotta go.
one more thing, he helped me beat you. No,
He did.
no, was it him? It was no.
No, it
No,
was.
it was the other guy that I came back from 85 points
Yeah,
down
that shit.
on Monday night.
That shit was
I,
absolutely over.
I traded the
Huh?
I traded the 2.2 for Chig and Brian Robinson, and they got me 25 points and they got me over the hump.
That
So
crap
I
was
got a
horrible.
special place in my heart for Chiggy.
But Chiggy had the last 3 weeks of the season. Week 17, he went. He had 7 targets, 5 catches, 11 targets, 9 catches, 10 targets, 8 catches. Chiggy is the reason why I got knocked out of my $75 league by far. He just that shit came out of nowhere. I like him. He's athletic, and God forbid, we won't have to see him catch another motherfucking pass from Levis as they about to go get Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. I think the up is up for Aquanco. That's a good pick in the 15th round. That's a good pick right there, Rocco.
And there's not many tight ends that could take the balls, 60, 70 yards on a touchdown and run away from the defense. He's one of the few guys that can do it. So, super athletic tight ends. That's where I'm at, man.
And
I'm
that's
good.
our and that is our startup draft so far, man. That's where we've been at. This is what we've been on. This is our whole philosophy. If you see the players that I clicked, these are all the guys that I went with. CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, Baker Mayfield, Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry. You know how I feel about my boy Tyrone Tracy. How to go get him?
Mm-hmm.
Keon
Mm-hmm.
Coleman. I'm looking for a breakout year too. He's only 21. And I think we saw a few flashes from his rookie year. Yes, he was hurt, but we did see those flashes. I'm really looking for a big year two breakout from him with
Josh
Josh
Allen
Allen.
throwing in the ball, yeah.
Yes, sir. And then I got a few. I have 2 rookie picks in the second round, and then I had to go get my tight end, Pat Firemuth, who was, I believe, tight end 8 last year. I am still very high on Pat. I still don't think he's used properly. I still don't think they give him enough targets in that offense. Fuck you, Arthur Smith, for that. But I really do want to see him get more involved in that offense because I think he can take that load. He's one of the better young tight ends. So that was my pick. And then we look at Nola's pick. He got Ricky Pearsall, Josh Downs, those guys he didn't speak about, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard. I like those picks, honestly. Tony Pollard was very underrated.
hmm Yeah, what I try to do, um, probably last year and the year before, I was heavy uh, doing your type of strategy, which is a super win now
Mm,
strategy, trying to win that money up front. And just like in the second half of last off season, and this is my first draft for this year, I started doing like a progressive struggle where I want to get young players that can be good for a long time and pick up draft picks. And what that
yeah,
does is give me a lot of flexibility because I don't necessarily have to make all of those picks. I can trade those picks for studs, like I did in the Super Friends League, which I started with, plenty of first, plenty of seconds, and over the course of the season, I just kept adding talent. So it gives me a lot of pivots if I need to.
I like
But
it.
Basically, I try to basically stay away from running back for the most part because I felt like I was going to draft those guys. But I do
Smart.
like Montgomery because I think he's locked into a role, and with him and Jameer Gibbs there, I don't believe they'll draft another guy.
No,
At least not early. They
no.
may draft a guy in the later rounds as a depth piece. And I've always liked Tony Pollard. I think he's an underrated back, and if that team gets any better with a new quarterback, I think he's set up for success. And he was good this year in a terrible situation. So I think he'll be second year off of the injury, and he should be. I mean, the team couldn't get any worse, can they? And as far as the receivers I picked, I tried to go at the top. I tried to go with target heavy, target monsters that can get open at will, and I tried to do that with those last three guys as well. I think Ricky Pearsall showed me something towards the end of the season. I mean, the guy is bulletproof, so he has a great story, but he also has a lot of talent. So um, just seeing what he did at the end of the season, he's probably one of my few outright reaches, um, but I think he can kind of settle into a good role, and it should only grow because I think Debo is on his way out of San Francisco. And Josh
Mm.
Downs, people don't like him because Anthony Richardson's throwing the football, but he kind of proved that he was the wide receiver one for most of last season, and he's another guy that can get open at wills. And Ridley, I mean, that's a steal in the 14th
Yeah,
round.
he just
If
feels
you look
up.
at some of
Yeah.
the other guys that got picked around him, nobody can pretty much guarantee you 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
In that portion of the draft.
Yeah, you got Cavarelli, Xavier Leggett went before him, Amari Cooper, Shaheed, who has a banged up knee. So I think when we were looking at your team, I kind of just had the thought of this is actually a pretty scary young. You got some veterans in there, but when it comes to youth and with your rookie picks that you have, you're going to have a pretty good, solid young team of talent
Hmm.
that's only going to get better going forward. So a good way of building that.
Yeah, and for me, it's not always even about building. Um, a lot of times, I'm just thinking, what's the most valuable piece I can draft right here that can gain value, and if I needed to pivot, I can get more than I paid for it for that
I
particular person or player pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that is our startup draft where we're going to leave off on. Now, to end the show, the least and greatest. And we're going to try to, no, not speed through too much, but we're going to try to get through it. Round two of our 2025 rookie draft. And I actually have a change to make it where I
Hit it.
went Jalen Royals at 111. I want to come back in here and change this though. I'm going to make this Trey Harris. I think that's going to be the pick that people go with in that first round. I think people are going to fall in love with. He's 6'4", about 215. He's almost the same structure body type as people have said to Randy Moss. I'm not saying he's going to be Randy Moss. I'm not that bold. Randy Moss was 21, 20 years old, going crazy on people. Trey Harris is 23. So we
Hmm.
gotta we gotta keep it in the reality here. But I think where we seen with Ole Miss, it could be a little hit and miss. We seen AJ Brown dominate. We seen DK Metcalf dominate from Ole Miss. But then you have guys like Dontario Drummond, who was productive at Ole Miss, who is currently out the league. So it's kind of how you feel about those Ole Miss guys. But I think Trey Harris is hard not to have on your list.
I think you might have to make one more edit unless you just don't like. Well, no, no, keep going, keep going. My bad.
Hmm?
My bad.
You
I
know,
remember what you said about him on the last podcast, so maybe that's why he didn't make your first round. My bad.
no, no, no. I just
Go ahead.
gotta.
Who's
Yeah.
2.1? Who's
Uh,
2.1?
Who
Tell me
is
who. I need to know.
Ollie Gordon? I'm gonna have to do Ollie Gordon here.
Fuck yeah.
And I used to, I mean, me and Rocco have talked about this guy quite a bit over the offseason just because I wasn't too high on. I said about his junior year, I really liked what I saw from him, and then he took a step back in his senior year. Now, sorry, not his senior year, his junior year, he had bad troubles. His sophomore year is where he had the nice breakout, I think, because he is a junior. So I like me some Olive Gordon. He he's like a big guy, and he's not fast, but he's fast enough. And I think he's aware of his spacing to break off long runs. And I think you can get him at a discount. If we were talking about last year, you were probably going to have to get Ollie Gordon in that mid to early round of the draft of how he was playing. Now you
Hmm.
can get him in a second. He might not even go 201. He might go 202, 203 in that area. And he could be a very serviceable guy to have on your team. How do you feel about Ollie Gordon?
I like him. I think if we're if you could just go back to 2023 for a minute and the amazing season that he had, he was definitely in the group that everybody was talking about for this year with Quinshon Judkins, Ashton Genty, uh, Trevion Henderson.
Mm.
I mean, Caleb Johnson kind of rose up a little bit this year, but he was definitely in that mix that had people so excited about the running back class this year. So he's definitely going to make my second round, but he's not my 2.1. My 2.1
Let
is
me hear it.
just one of the most fun, one of the most versatile players in this draft. I mean, the guy made it all the way to the Final Four just recently. A guy that can play many different positions. You saw what who was that? Oh shit! You saw what the Ravens did with I think it was Mark Andrews being their short yardage back.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Am I tripping? Was
No, no, it was Mark Andrews. They'll use him
Mark Mark?
as
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you saw what they did with Mark Andrews, and this guy could definitely do that. Um, Tyler Warren is my tight end one in this class, and at some point he may actually jump into my first round. Um, but I'm hammering the running backs. So Tyler Warren's
Uh,
my first pick to come off in this round.
that's crazy. I think the way his testing gonna go, you're not gonna be able to get this man at the 201 of how he gonna test. Hopefully he doesn't. I really hope I can get Tyler Warren at the 201 because boy, I will be doing a marathon around the crib. He is the tight end prospect. Is he Browers? Hell no. That's once again, go dogs. You know how I feel about him. But he is. I would say if we're looking at prospects, who would you go? Kyle Pitts when he was coming out of Florida, or Tyler Warren coming out of Penn State?
I'd probably go Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, the talent that Kyle Pitts had, the career he should have had. Um, I think uh, the the problem with Kyle Pitts, um, it may be the same problem that Anthony Richardson's having. He's running lazy routes, but I mean, coming out, that dude was. I mean, and it
His
shows
rookie year,
because
yeah,
what was it, top five pick? So
yeah,
uh,
his rookie year was good.
I definitely would have.
Uh,
I mean, 1,000 yards as a rookie. So I definitely would have taken Kyle Pitts, but Tyler Warren is very much in play to have a better career because it seems like he's more of a football guy than Kyle Pitts is at this point
I
of
like
the
it.
process.
Well, I'm gonna have to go with 202, and I think this is where you start getting another run on quarterbacks that people like Jackson Dart. Calm on down, good sir. he is my man. Do I love me some Jackson Dart, and I don't have it in me to rank him higher than the other guys. If you have him ranked than the other guys, I think you're smoking crack. So maybe, but Jackson Dart, if you remember him from USC, and then he transferred to Ole Miss, I just think he's a gunslinger. He doesn't have the arm like the other guy, like I would think of a Cam Ward or Shador Sanders, but it's just enough to where he can make every throw on the field. I like Dart. I like what he can be. If you get him in the right offense, the right philosophy, I think you know he can be better than what people think. I think he's a above average backup quarterback in the league. He could be a good
Mhm.
starter. So I'm taking Jackson Dart here at that 202.
Nice pick. He has a lot of moxie and he puts up good numbers. I think the knock on him is that Ole Miss doesn't really run a pro style offense.
No.
So that's something that he'll have to contend with, and that's something that could push him down the draft board. And if he doesn't get selected high, then he may be a steal later on in the draft. But I
Hmm?
definitely like Jackson Dart, and I think you can do worse with a second round pick. My next player
Yeah, let
is
me hear that 202.
probably
Yeah.
my guy is probably I'd say one of the most fun players of last year. Um, he's a big back, and I'm drafting running backs in this draft,
Yo.
and Ollie Gordon is close, but this guy brings fun to the table, and I feel like one big preseason game, and people are gonna lose their shit
I already know who you
when
about to
he,
say.
you know, people are gonna lose their shit when he catches a swing pass and runs over two guys and gets a touchdown in preseason. He transferred to Arizona State last year. Um, but I mean, when you got a guy that could put up 1,700 yards on the ground, along with 600 yards in the air, you can knock a motherfucker over, and you got a little
Hmm.
wiggle to your game. So I think he's more than just a fun college back. I think he has a real role in the pros. Give me Cam fucking Scatterboo.
Cam Scatterbull, and I think where with running backs, where the 10-yard split is a lot more important than a 40-yard. We don't need you to be blazing fast in a straight line, but we need you to be quick. We need you to have acceleration to get through the hole, to get to the hole, to get to the edge. Right. I think he has enough speed to do that. I love me some man. If I'll take me some that damn Cam at some 202. He can catch, he can throw,
Yeah,
he can run. We saw everything in that championship game.
and
I want him on my team.
his lateral movement's a lot better than most guys his size. So I think he has a real good role in the league, and hopefully he gets drafted early because I think he can be a three down back for somebody. I'm starting to get more and more convinced. And even if I didn't like him, man, give me a couple plays in the preseason. He'll be a very tradable asset.
I'm here to give you my first hot take of the night. My first hot take of round two. Some people might agree, some people might not. Some people might say I'm smoking that good stuff, and you might be right. I'm going Matthew Golden at 203 over his counterpart Isaiah Bond from Texas.
Big
Damn, do I
riser.
like this guy. He is going to rise so well in this draft. Man, he has that. He's 6 foot, about 195. And what I like about him, he's a route runner. He came along at the end of the Texas season, and I just love everything about this guy. His moxie, how he goes about it, how well he runs his route in that intermediate range. And I still think he has enough speed to go deep. No, and I think overall his game will translate better than Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond is the speed guy, where I think Matthew Golden is the overall general better football player, and he will be selected for me if I'm in my teams. You might have Bond over him. I'm going Matthew Golden.
I like it. I like it. He's going to come off the board pretty soon for me, and he may keep rising because a lot of people I really respect have him rising up their draft boards. I think Damian Parsons. I saw a mock draft, NFL mock draft just
Hmm.
a few days ago. He went. I think he went to the Cowboys in the first round in his
Ooh,
mock draft. So that's
Golden.
super hot. But he said that Matthew Golden would be a perfect complement to CD Lamb, and I think that's the Cowboys' most pressing need because we saw what happened when they were running out there with Brandon Cooks and who's the other fellow?
Jalen Tolbert.
Jalen Tolbert, and they are at best wide receiver threes. And I
Yeah,
think your offense is going to run a lot better, a lot smoother. Dak is going to have a lot more options if you get him a first round wide
agree.
receiver. For me, it would be Luther Burden if he's there, hands down. I think he
Hands
is the
down.
perfect
I like him.
complement to CD, and I
Play that
think he
music.
can
Yes,
be.
sir.
You can have two wide receiver ones,
Mhm.
um, concurrently. But Matthew Golden's not a bad second option.
Who'd you got at the 203?
All right, my guy, my guy. I got a little bit off kilter there, but I'm gonna go with. I think this guy was our first Debbie of the week. Just a guy who just makes cuts in space and makes people look silly, and he could house it at any time. He may not be your typical three down back, but I think he can make a lot of explosive plays. I think he would look really good in Kansas City as a compliment to Isaiah Pacheco. Give me Devin Neal
We got
right there.
Devin Neal in the house, y'all, and I am not mad at that whatsoever. And I have seen him picked multiple times by the Kansas City Chiefs and be projected to them because I think he is a good fit in that offense. And damn, would he look good in that Kansas City red?
And you
So
can probably get him in the second or third round
I'm
when you look
sure,
at
yeah,
this draft class. So he would be a steal anywhere he lands, and
I
he would
agree.
be a very nice compliment wherever he lands. Just a very explosive player and has some of the best cuts in this entire draft class.
I love Devin Neal. And if we're talking about talent, he definitely deserves to be at that 203. I hope, and when I say hope, I hope there's people out there that have him lower. So I know I can pick him up a lot more than
Hmm.
at that 203. I like that spot right there. And at that 204, I might have to steal your 202. That's where I'm gonna have to put my boy Cam, man. He can't go too far. He can't go too far down this list. He has to be on my team. There's no way I don't get one, two, three, four shares of Cam out of this year. I promise you that. I love this guy. I love his film. I love how tough he is. I love the nitty gritty. Sometimes you just need a dog. You don't need. We all love the guys that run fast, that cut, that can make all the jukes. We love it. But sometimes you just need to run through a motherfucker's face. And that's something that Cam can do. Love that man. And that's why he is my 204. Who you got at 204?
Man, I'm gonna do the same thing you did to me, except I'm gonna take your 2.3. Give me Matthew Golden. All the shit you
Okay.
said, all the shit I said. We don't have to talk about it much more. He's a good
Yes,
player.
sir.
He's rising up people's draft boards.
I like it. You know, I'm gonna have to go. This guy's one of my favorites, and his running mate that he played with last year just went back to Oregon. I think you know who's next. I think you know who's coming up at 205. Mr. Tez Johnson himself is a dog. Man, he has Does he have a small stature? Yes. Small frame? Yes. Does he play with the Oregon Ducks? Yes. Is that offense pro style? No, not whatsoever. But what we seeing from his YPRR, from analytics wise, he's one of the better guys up there, no matter what the size is. And he's playing with Dylan Gambrell. I don't want to send no shade, no shots at him, but it's not like, yes, he did break the all-time passing touchdown record. Who the fuck cares, right? If he had a better quarterback play, he would have had a better season. But
Mhm.
I love me some Tez Johnson at the 205.
Beautiful, man. I like Tez Johnson. I think he can get open at will. Very, very closely comparable to another smaller guy, Tank Dell, um, who
Yes, that's a good
unfortunately
comp.
got
Good comp.
hurt. The first time was on a dumbass play. He shouldn't have been trying to be in on a goal line sneak like that. So that was just dumb. I don't know what he was doing there, but Tez Johnson is not quite my guy right here. I think I got some guys I want just a little bit more. And
Hmm.
this may be a super hot take, but this guy is, well, no, I'm sorry. He's my next guy, but Ollie Gordon right here. If we
Ali.
just if he came out last year when he had 1,732 yards on a 6 yard per clip, 21 touchdowns, and the guy can catch the ball as well. He just provides a three down skill set. Hopefully, the NFL sees it the same way and they judge him off of his 23 season. Some things went wrong in Oklahoma State in 2024. He didn't have quite the same season. But a guy that could put up 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, and also give you 330 yards through the air on 39 receptions. He wasn't going very far, but he's a good check down guy. 2,000 total yards in 2023 with
Hmm.
22 total touchdowns. If
Oof.
if an NFL offense could get that guy, I mean, look out, man. This
Look
guy
out.
was, one of the guys that everybody talked about in last year's draft. And if he would have came out last year, he's probably a second round pick. I think he's a great value in the middle of the second round of my rookie draft. And, he's a talent that should be going in the first round if this wasn't such an amazing running back class. But, you know,
Rocco, is he fourth in
his
fantasy value certified?
value is out this world, man. Out this fucking world.
I like it. I like it. We love that good value picks. We try to get the best where we can, and I like that. He's going to have a good range. I could definitely see Ollie Gordon going between that 201 to 205 range. He's an early to
Yeah.
mid second rounder for sure.
And look at some of these guys that are already in the second round pick. This is why we were going heavily after second round picks and third round picks too. Third round is going to be really nice too. If you look at on the right side, see some of the guys that's still available, that will be available in the third round.
Mhm.
This is a good ass draft.
Hey, you know what time it is. It's time for my second tight end to come off the board. Mr. Harold Fannin, mother effin Jr. from Bowling Green. Mr. Antonio Gates himself,
Nice.
reincarnated. I am so excited for this tight end. I can't, but like, once I think the tight end position is becoming respected again after the rookies that have been coming in. If the cow, I feel like I tell you this every episode, but I want him to be a cowboy because
You want
screw.
everybody to be a
I want him to be a cowboy so bad, bro. I feel like the the athleticism is off the charts here, and if you look at him analytically wise, he still is up there with the best of them at that tight end position. I want him on my team so bad. He's going to be on my fantasy team, at least one of them. And if he ends up on the Cowboys, which he wasn't, and he won't, is I will do another victory lap around the house. Who is your 206?
My 206, I'm going to go with a little bit of a hot take here. He fits a very specific role but if he gets on the right team, I know there's a lot of ifs, but I think this guy profiles as a target monster. And in today's NFL, I think he can be uh, like a Latin Amon-Ra St. Brown of anyone as a target monster out of the slot. He's actually, believe it or not, with all of the great receiving talent that Miami's had over the years, he's actually the leading
Ooh.
receiver in Miami's history. Give me Xavier Restrepo.
Hey, and I was wondering when he was going to come off this board, and I got to put
He come
respect on
off
his
right
name
here.
since he was right down the road, and got I watched him a few times at Miami. He's a good. No, I think he projects more as a slot receiver, so
Yeah.
I think he has a ton of Khalil Shakir to his game in my eyes. I like
Hmm.
the way he was using our offense. I'm not mad at him at the 206.
Yeah,
There's
strong
somebody I like.
hands, man. He's a dog. He gets
Oh, he a
after it, man.
dog. Yeah, he's nitty gritty. If
I
you want
like
somebody to go
I
in that
like
middle, he's
watching his
good.
film, man.
Yeah, 100%. I like him. If the board gets ran through and I see him still on that, I will still feel good. If he goes to, let's say, Denver, who needs another receiver, man, don't let the sky's the limit, boy. But it kind of would
Especially
hurt me
inside.
because well, I mean, we need Troy Franklin for that, right? I think he's another one that I don't want to get nuke too bad, but I like Xavier right here. I might have to. He's not there on my list yet, but let me reintroduce y'all to somebody who was on this list that I had to redo again. Mr. Jalen Royals, bring yourself down. He might even get picked earlier here for me, but I think at the 207, aka my birthday itself, I that's it's a perfect right there. I like it.
You
I would feel great.
207?
Yep, 207.
February 7th?
Yep, that's my birthday.
February 8th.
Hey.
Boom! Age of Aquarium.
Yeah, you already know what it is. Aquarius all day.
Hell yeah.
Uh, I love me some Jalen
Yeah.
Royals though, and I've been good. If I promise you, I would viewers, if anybody who would listen to me, that's all I've been talking about has been Jalen Royals and how much this guy is in my top five. And I'm picking him at the 207 because that's where people are not thinking about Jalen Royals. That's going to change in the next few months when he goes to the combine, when he goes to the Senior Bowl. All that's going to change. But right now, I'm just going to keep in my mind. I'm picking up me some Jalen Royals wherever I can. What do you think, Rocco?
I think Jalen Rose, I mean, he was one of our debut of the weeks.
Yes, he
Uh,
was.
very reminiscent of like a Brandon Cooks. Um, not not necessarily the biggest guy, but he definitely fights for the ball and speed out of this world. He can run a 4.3. So um, you can't teach speed like that. I hope he gets on a team that knows how to utilize him. I think he can be a
Hmm.
very explosive playmaker.
And just for time wise, Mr. Rocco, do you want to do a speed listing?
Let's
So
go.
give me give me your 207, give me your 208 in the rest of your second round.
All right, I'm gonna go Colston Loveland,
Oh, we got Colston Loveland at
who was the tight
207.
end one coming into the season. So
I agree.
some guys have passed him up, but I'm gonna take him right there. Give me Jackson Dart.
Okay. We have Jackson Dart coming off at 208.
All right, let's see who I have not taken yet. Uh, should have had
Still some good names out there.
still a lot of good names out there. Too many because I'm fucking up my list. Give me Jalen Royals next.
Jalen Royals at the 209.
I am a believer. Uh, give me another speedy receiver. Didn't quite put the numbers, but I think he can have a James Worthy type effect to the right team. Give me
I know what
Isaiah
you got.
Bond,
Isaiah Bond at the 210.
and let's see who's next. Uh, give me. DJ Giddens.
Ooh, a name that doesn't have been talked about a lot in these charts when we're talking about the Olive Gordons, the Travion Hendersons, the Amarion Hamptons of the world, the Caleb Johnsons. I like me some DJ Gideon.
I'm just starting to get into his tape, but I like him, and he can he can do a lot. He's a good player. Um, but we're going
Yeah.
fast,
Who's that last
and
pick? Who's that last pick? Let us know.
last guy is a guy who um, he would be higher in almost any other draft. Big guy, ran track in high school, so you know he has the requisite speed. And he's played at the U last year. Give me Damian Martinez.
Damian Martinez. I feel like he was a lot higher before he got to Miami, where people viewed him as when he was at Oregon State and he had a drop off in his status over the year. A lot of off the field issues as well.
I think he's going to be one of the biggest sleepers in the draft.
I agree with you. I can't disagree with. I like me some Damian Martinez. Now I gotta do a little fast round of myself. Let's do it, shall
So
we? I'm going to have to do the same here. I will go Costin Loveland at the 208. I think he's my tight end three. I don't have him above Harold, but Michigan does tend to produce tight ends, so I wouldn't be against having him there.
hey, I just have one question for you.
What's good?
I know you go on speed, but are you going to rank Omarion Hampton or Trevion Henderson?
I'm gonna have to. I feel as Omarion Hampton is a more complete back where he can do your first, second, and third down, whereas Trevion Henderson is more of your change of pace receiving back. I don't think he could potentially be the bell cow, but I don't think that's his body size. So I would
But
have. So hard.
but my question is, are they going to make your top two rounds?
Are they? Did they not? I have Omarion. I thought I had Omarion. Oh wow, I don't have Omarion Hampton. Oh, I left
I'm just making sure
Omarion.
you. I know you said you hated Omarion Hampton on the last
Oh snap!
podcast.
I left Omarion Hampton off this page. How dare I? Somebody has to be
and
wrong.
Trevion.
Somebody has to be moved out of here. Yeah, Jalen Milrow, you're out of there, buddy. I'm sorry. Come here. Actually, I can't remember. That is so hard. Holy shit! I
You
just
could
realized.
always cut and move down and slide your guy in there.
You're right. So here we go. Here we go. I can't even. I might have to. This is what I might have to do. I might have to bring. Ooh, this is hard. I didn't even real. Thank you for giving me that, yo. I'm
I
over here tweaking.
I was just looking and I was like, man,
I'm
what?
over here tweaking, fam. Let me. I'm gonna have to move Jalen Milrow out here. So let me do this. I'll do that. I'll take me some Travion. Let's move Trey Harris down to the 112. Then let's move Tylen Warren down. Let's. This is where I would
When you do
add.
this exercise live,
Yeah, it gets me thinking now. Let me. Dude, this the first
right?
round gonna be so much harder for me now. Let me get Travion Henderson here. I do like him.
Boom.
Then Omarion Hampton. Ooh, somebody has to move out of here, and I don't know. Oh, because you don't have. I would have to drop Jackson Dart down here a little bit, and maybe go. Because Omarion Hampton is going to be drafted pretty high. I don't care how you feel about him. People really do like him.
Oh, he's going in the
So
second round.
I will have to. Uh, I will move Caleb Johnson down a tad bit. I think, or give me Ollie Gordon actually, and let's say put you there. Uh, you can put him here. Oh no, this is messing up. This is totally messing me up now.
My
Uh,
my bad. I didn't
you
mean to fuck you
no,
up.
no, you good. Okay, just for purposes wise, I would definitely have Marion Hampton somewhere in my top 10. Rocco got me over here thinking somebody had to drop out of here. I'm not sure who would have to drop out of here, but we will see. Um, at my 209, oh, how can I not figure about Jalen Monroe? So let me have him somewhere here. Let's move Jackson Dart.
Get them quarterbacks out of there. We already said the quarterbacks are overrated.
Let's get Jackson Dart out there. Let's put Jalen Monroe at the 202. Jackson Dart moves around to my 209, roughly where Rocco has him at that 208. I think that actually makes a little bit more sense. Shout out to him for getting me back into the game here. Now at that
Let's
210,
roll.
I'm gonna have to go with Alec Manor. I know I mispronounced your name, Playboy. I'm gonna get it though. I think he's for
Boy,
6'2", 215, and he moves like he's a small guy. He's gonna move up to some charts as well, as I
yeah,
think.
he I know he beasted Travis Hunter when they played head up, and if you just look up Alec A. Manor highlights, he has a catch that is just unbelievable. I forgot who he beasted, but he just like jumped and high pointed the ball with one hand. It was just unreal. So yeah, look at some of his highlight footage because he's a guy that will get on your radar pretty quickly
Hell
in
yeah.
this process.
Let's see. And to end out the round two, I think you have to go Savion Williams here. Love him.
Your guy,
Multi talented.
Savion.
Yeah, multi-talented guy. He played quarterback, used to be a quarterback. Now he's wide receiver, running back, wherever you kind of want him to be. I like him good as a gadget guy. And depending on where he lands. And to end off round two, Rocco, and to end off this episode, it's been a really good one, man. It's been entertaining. Ooh, I think you have to go. Quinn Ewers here. Actually, is there a running back I like? If y'all don't know who Brashard Smith is, I am here to tell you you need to go figure out who Brashard Smith is. He has a lot of Tyrone Tracy to his game, but
Okay,
smaller. He's
I'm
now
intrigued.
Tyrone Tracy's 215. Brashard Smith is more of that 195 ish, but you will see him out wide. You will see him in the slot. You will see him in the backfield. He's running traditional routes like a receiver. I like Brashard Smith. Uh, if I really had to say, and it's really between, I like both of their tape, but I'm gonna have to go with Jaden Higgins. He is another guy. He has some Drake London to his game. Go if you go back, he's like 6'4" ish, six no 6'5". I think he'd be more closer to that 6'4" ish, but man, is he smooth. I like him coming out of Iowa State and a guy who I keep saying this, but he's going to rise up people. He's not going to wow you when it comes to like his athletic traits, but he just gets shit done. He's a nice route runner, and I like him. And that's how I'm gonna end off my second round at that 212, man.
I like it. I like it. As you can see, there's a lot of differences on our boards. So that just to me, what that says to me that is that there's going to be a lot of value to be had in the third rounds because there could be wild differences,
Yeah,
from board to board because of the amount of talent in this draft. So I think the third round is even going to be rich with talent, and you'll still be able to find some guys in the fourth that can help you out.
hell
Um,
yeah,
so so it's a really good draft. It's short on quarterbacks. There's a few. a couple really good prospects at wide receiver, but running backs, man,
Yeah, run,
running
hammer,
backs.
hammer, hammer, hammer again. Smash that shit. Pick it up. Keep smashing that shit at running back because that this is the draft for it. This is a historical draft, and that is our fourth in fantasy round two, 2005 rookie draft. That is episode 24. Man, I can't believe we hit
24.
for it. And we're still going. We hit six. We didn't even start the video off with saying that, y'all. We hit 600 subscribers today. Man, thank you. Like, subscribe, share. All the people that tap in with us, everyone who watches our video. Man, it's appreciated. We did not see this coming as fast as we did, and we have more in store. We even have some guest appearances coming up for you guys. Stay
Stay tuned.
tuned. Stay tuned. We got it all for you guys. But this has been Fourth and Fantasy. I am Honcho, and this is my guy.
Rocco, call me Rocco.
And
Call
y'all
me
have
Rocco.
a wonderful day, wonderful night, wherever you are viewing us from. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next time.
Thanks for locking in with us.